his, I mean, he's got to be on the juice a little bit. Look at his fucking arms.
I mean, look at his brother, though.
What's up, guys? Derek, MORPHS.com. Today we're going to be talking about Tommy TNT Fury. This is a pro boxer, former Love Island contestant, and half-brother of Tyson Fury. So a lot of people sent me this transformation a couple months ago. It was what happens when you apply and dedicate yourself for 6 weeks, ... Yup, just 6 weeks, flexing emoji. I said this the last time, but this time is different. I feel fitter than ever. 1 week to go. Let's get it. Bomb symbol, fucking praying. So here he is. He is, showing his before and after transformation pics. And as you can see, he has seemed to go from, a little bit of doughy, not as, no visible abs really, to fucking peeled out of his goddamn tree. Sex lines off the chain, guy looking like a men's physique competitor. Okay, obviously to our standards, maybe not. And again, a lot of people watching this video are going to have a warped perception of what this guy looks like relative to the average person. People who are new to my channel will be like, this guy looks fucking insane. People who have their brains melted by the fitness industry will be like, this guy is Pinner. That is just the disparity between the fucked up mindset of the fitness industry and like normal people. So anyways, this is a great physique and is, looks like a fucking fitness model essentially, or a guy who could grace the cover of a fitness magazine, I should say. So anyway, this is a 6 weeks transformation and people, freaking out. Fuck are those arms? Holy shit, that's incredible to change. Wow, weird genetics by Ivan. Left side physique. Did you diet? No fucking shit, dude. Has anyone noticed that Tommy has the same body as the guy from Ark Survive? Well, okay, that's obviously irrelevant. Fire symbol ×5, a classic engagement comment. In 6 weeks, I could grow my beard out too. That's about it. The gypsy only gets his fat ass up to make money. What the fuck? Jeez, dude. So anyway, he lost, quite a bit of body fat. And as you can tell, in the before picture, he's not really even flexing. The guy is... He's in down lighting, he's in reasonable lighting and looks good still, but you can tell he's literally like decompressed his fucking abs on purpose, it looks like. And the second one, he is in heavy down lighting, is a little bit glazed up almost, and is flexing his goddamn face off until he prolapses himself. Actually, I don't actually know if he is, I'm just assuming. So this is, a great transformation. Is this realistic natural though? Is this guy natural? That's what we're gonna be getting into. Because it was actually interesting. I was watching, jumping back and forth over the TMG Love Island special. They, if you haven't seen Tiny Meat Gang, fucking hilarious guys. I've been watching them for a while. I've been to one of their shows in person. Highly recommend you check it out if you want to laugh. And they start to do a Natty or Not on Fury. And it's kind of interesting. And it was like, oh shit, I remembered I had this. I have like 50 tabs open on my browser of shit I need to get to. And this is one of those videos that has been on my to-do list for a fucking while. And this just reminded me of it. And I was like, what a better, segue than these guys speculating about it in their fucking IFBB Pro bodysuits.
But also Tommy's like winning boxing matches.
Yeah, I mean, you could put a little asterisk next to his opponents, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
If you look at their records.
So this padding is...
Yeah, I think Tommy's still in the beginning of his career, so that aspect...
But, I mean, the dude is fucking huge.
Yeah, he's massive.
Hey, can you bring up Tommy Fury's Instagram right now?
What's funny is when they bring up this picture, a bunch of people from this channel are going to be like, you think that's fucking huge? What the fuck?
On the screen real fast.
This dude is gigantor.
Just because his arms actually look like our arms right now.
Okay, they definitely don't, but...
Yeah, I'm really glad that he put the time in to finally... And he used to DM us. He's like, I want to look like yous. And we gave him our workout plan, and we're finally here. All right, let me look up Molly May.
Yeah, how many followers? Like, just look how many likes does she get on her
for all the bagging people did on her, like...
Molly is accurate representation of real life 100%. And what's going on in real life.
1000%.
So, just...
Damn, she blew up on the gram. 5.6 million followers.
That's what I'm saying.
This is
for anything. You
a
can
lot
be
of
anyone.
People. Yeah. Carrington.
Yeah. Go scroll down. Scroll down. Scroll down. Okay, hold on. Scroll back up. Maybe that bottom middle picture.
Yeah, that bottom middle picture is the hilarious one. You just got to open it in a new tab.
I mean, he's got to be on the juice a little bit. Look at his fucking arms.
I mean, look at his brother, though. I mean, you want to talk about, like, Gumby build? These guys have, like, a cartoon build. They're just absurd.
Okay, yeah, their frames look really, like, interesting, that's for sure. They're not necessarily, like, yoked out of their tree, though. You know, this is good. To the average layman, this is a top 1% physique for sure. Obviously, you know, no one would argue that. Well, some people on this channel might, but they don't have the conception of what 1 out of 100 guys actually is. But he's certainly not, like, Cody thinks he's literally like a fucking IFBB pro comparing him, and it's like, obviously not the case, and he's speculating like he's got to be on, you know, a little something something. So that's what we're going to be diving into, as well as some of the boxing league drug test parameters.
Yeah.
Stature and physique.
Yeah.
Like, look how small their heads are compared to their bodies. Like, these guys are like Koopa Troopas. Like,
he's on the juice a little bit.
this is what happens when you take a Koopa Troopa's shell off. This is like what's underneath. Like a small ass head. And
So Cody thinks he's on gear. I'm going to see if, I haven't watched the full clip actually, so I'm going to see what Noel thinks.
huge. I mean, they have to be on the juice because we took trying to get like this.
We had to.
Yeah, there's no way.
The trend cough is brutal. That's why I've been coughing the last couple episodes.
Just because the
Trend.
it's taking trend.
Yeah.
Just hold on to the fucking sink and say, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Buddy's yoked. Anyways, I fucking suck.
that's part of trend too.
Yeah, those are the mood swings. God, I fucking... Not that anyone will care. That's why we've been doing that, actually. Okay, that's because of the trend.
Okay, so we're going to be getting into some of the drug test parameters of the UKAD, VADA, boxing leagues and whatnot, and see sort of what I think. So this guy, Tommy Fury, he looks fucking good. You know, he made this transformation. Is this amount of body fat realistic to wash off in 6 weeks? Yeah, it is, naturally, to be honest. This physique as well, I do believe looks naturally achievable for somebody with good, very, very good genetics. However, it doesn't mean he is natural. I'm going to sort of, you know, dissect what I think and kind of circle it back after. But yeah, this amount of body fat, to me, a lot of it is, it's not necessarily lighting. A lot of it is just flexing fucking properly, and obviously being a lot leaner too. The guy might be water depleted too. Like, I don't fucking know. He's 1 week out. Okay, maybe he wouldn't have been water depleted yet, but he is definitely, you know, cutting aggressively, presumably. And you're gonna get a pretty drastic difference in 6 weeks, you know, to the point where you could definitely recreate, even in this picture, if he just turned sideways, went in shittier lighting, didn't have a pump, stuck out his stomach, ate a bunch of shit that bloated him, he could look like fucking, you know, not that far off from this picture, believe it or not. And this is, you know, the magic of the fitness industry and lighting and shit. So anyways, going to his Instagram here, if we go all the way down to the bottom, this was him back in 2014, Beast Mode August. He was only, let's see, 2014, so 7 years ago, I don't know, so he was like fucking 15 years old here. One of the top comments, delete this, Tommy, what the fuck? Why? He's like in fucking shorts and boxing, like what's wrong with that? Here he is doing a lat pull down, here he is cranking some fucking dude in the face. Let's see. Here's his half brother, motivation. So obviously from a young age, he's been very, very motivated by boxing. He has a very good role model to kind of strive to emulate in this guy right here. So Tommy's been in the gym for a while. Since 2015, he looks like he had a pretty good build even back when he was like 16 years old, I guess, if that is the correct timeline. And interestingly enough, if you scroll up, as he kind of, you know, gets into boxing a bit more, and this is his dad, who has pretty decent, you know, looks pretty decent for, I don't know, being in his 60s probably. I don't know how old he is. But, you know, this guy has always been like decently built, even as like a 15, 16-year-old. It's not like he has gained exorbitant amounts of size that all of a sudden he just fucking exploded and it's like unexplainable how big he is. Here he was back in, again, this is 6 years ago. So he's like 16 years old here, approximately. Here he is in the gym. And interestingly enough, he is actually a or was, I don't know if he still is, like a fitness industry fanatic, because he posts a lot of, you know, fucking like classic, like most muscular shots and whatnot. And in addition to that, he's actually, well, this is a pretty notable shot too. This is, again, maybe like 17 years old, looking fucking house dude with the traps eating his goddamn head. Classic. So it's not like he's never had a physique. Like you could argue, if anything, you know, most of the exogenous anabolic use, if anything, was built the foundation of his progress back like in his late teen years, to be honest, before he was even a prominent name. Because I don't see a drastic difference, to be honest, between some of those old shots and how he looks now. But again, most interestingly to me, or not most, but, you know, notable nonetheless, is the fact that he went to fitness expos to go take pictures with guys like Rich Piana, guys like Ulysses, guys like Kai Green. These are all individuals who, if you know, aspire to emulate or idolize in any context whatsoever, you know, you're probably a guy who's at least looked at the Sazul at one point. Like, there's no way you would not be, you know, like this guy for anything but his physique. It's not like he has a fucking sick personality that I've seen personally. He has no informative content. He doesn't really do anything. He's just a fucking sick, yoked out of his mind guy. And if you follow his shit, it's probably because you're inspired by his shreds, his symmetry, his fucking muscle mass, and how sick he looks. And presumably you probably get inspired by that and want to, you know, emulate the, you know, the look. So I would not be surprised if this guy has dabbled in his teen years, to be honest. You know, it's very unlikely that a guy who is trying to be a pro boxer, who is striving for maximum performance outcomes, as well as is idolizing guys like Rich Piana. So good to meet Rich Piana, top man. With Ulysses, top man. Gentlemen, credit to the fitness world. Gentlemen, big respect. Like, I don't know, again, maybe I'm reaching by saying he idolizes them, but it's like, if you go out of your way to like wait in a lineup for, you know, 20, 30, I don't know how long these fucking lines are. Like for Rich Piana, maybe you're waiting for an hour to take a picture with the guy. If you wait that long, like you're a fanboy enough that what they're doing is something that is, you know, inspiring to you and or you know, resonate with in some capacity. And the pattern of taking pictures with all of these fucking saucers, it's like, you know, what is the, you know, the speculated outcome for a guy who is, you know, trying to be a fucking top tier pro boxer, isn't being tested with any level of scrutiny at this age, and is really into fitness and takes fucking, you know, duck lips flexing shots like this. You know, I would imagine the guy's probably dabbled a little bit in his teen years. Now, does that mean that's what he's doing now? Not necessarily, but we're going to scroll back up and you see his physique has developed a little bit more. He hasn't made a ton of progress since, you know, some of the older shots. Like, he looks good still. It's not like his physique, though, is going to transform and get fucking massive when he is training to be a boxer now. And I guess what is notable, though, is back in 2019, I believe it was, he actually went on the Love Island show, which is a show that is plagued with juice heads. It is a show that basically you're trying to look as jacked as humanly possible, look as fucking insane as possible, and like, you know, you can build your platform off of it. So when you show up, you want to look as good as you can. So if this guy had dabbled before, it would not be surprising if he did go heavy duty into the sauce in order to prepare to show up on TV. Like, why the fuck would you not? So there's definitely a lot of incentive to do what he wanted to do. There is definitely some progression in his physique that may be like somewhat questionable, but nothing, like, to be honest, the physique development follows a natural trend in the amount of lean tissue he's packed on each year. It's nothing fucking insane to the point that makes me, just based on the physique pictures themselves, be like, okay, he's definitely on gear. It's more so what he has to gain from using it, the people he's associating with, the kind of stuff he blatantly shows a lot of interest in. And again, a lot of this is just speculation at the end of the day, but now we will get into some of the drug test parameters. And historically, we have seen that his half-brother Tyson Fury has indeed tested positive for shit in the past, which is another video probably that I should cross off the bucket list at some point soon, is him testing positive for nandrolone. And if that indeed was a, you know, false positive, essentially from, I believe it was tainted meat, which we're going to revisit probably. But anyway, so Tommy is, you know, a pro boxer. He's been on Love Island. He's also, you know, a former big fan of the fitness industry and guys who are fucking, you know, prominent juicers, or I guess some of them are closet juicers like Ulysses and Kai Green probably, but you know, Rich Piana, very, very outspoken about his use and whatnot. And so Tommy, you know, he is a 6-0 boxer right now. And he is obviously competing against guys who aren't as big of names as his half-brother. You know, he's not a massive star in the boxing world, I guess, yet. But he is, you know, on his way up. And obviously the stardom from Love Island definitely helped catapult his name, presumably, because he has a massive presence on social media now. And I imagine some of that is from his half-brother. I imagine some of that is from Love Island, or maybe a significant majority of it. But either way, the guy's a fucking massive, you know, social media star at this point. And he's competing in professional boxing matches. The guys he's competing against and the scrutiny of the drug test parameters surrounding these matches, though, how strict really is it? Whether it's VADA, whether it's UKAD, whether it's like, unless you're paying out of pocket for like 24/7, 365 monitoring, and well, to be honest, if you're paying for it, like, I don't necessarily know that it's the most trustworthy and unbiased way to subject yourself to what is the most intense level of testing that you could possibly subject yourself to. But it's certainly better, and you know, some guys are doing that now, like Canelo and whatnot, but it's certainly one of these sports with the loosest drug test parameters, in that the off season there isn't really anything crazy going on. Like, what these guys do is they will end up in like an 8, 12, maybe at most 16-week test period, where leading up to a fight, they will be subject to randomized testing. And again, the testing has its holes in it, which we dissect many times on this channel. And when it comes to bioidentical hormone use, and if you have somebody in your camp who can acquire the proper resources, knows how to circumvent certain basic parameters. They're not basic. I shouldn't like gloss over it like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not, but there's certainly holes in it for undetectable microdosing of bioidenticals like testosterone, EPO, especially growth hormone. Those things are going to be very useful in a boxing ring. Not necessarily testosterone as much, but the things that are going to enhance your hematology profile, enhance your endurance in the ring, things that enhance your oxygen carrying capacity, perhaps nootropics that aren't, a lot of those aren't banned for, skill acquisition, helping motor learning, shit like that is definitely going to be leveraged in this sport quite heavily. And a lot of it can go under the radar, given that the testing parameters are not only, subject to the same holes in them that all the, testing parameters are in every single sport, where you can skirt around the bioidentical compound detection via knowing what to use essentially and how to use it. But in addition to that, and when I say that, it's basically, the format in which a lot of these compounds are prepared, how you're microdosing it, how you are essentially following longitudinal data of your steroidal module, as well as your hematology and whatnot in your biological passport. But again, leading up to the fight, you have like maybe 8 to 12 weeks of very, very high scrutiny testing, where you have to be more on point and ready to, pass the test. But between the matches, if you have a long off season, like what's happening during that point doesn't seem like a lot, unless you're subjecting yourself to 24/7, 365 testing, like a few fighters are. You pretty much have a green light to do whatever the fuck you want. Like, at least in most sports, like the UFC, there's randomized testing throughout the year. It's not like there's an off season where all of a sudden you have a bunch of leeway to do whatever you want, and then right when it comes closer to the competition, we subject you to the randomized, intense testing. You're being tested like fucking dozens of times per year potentially if you're a high profile athlete. But in boxing, it's not necessarily the case. Even at the highest level, guys like Pacquiao have been under a lot of scrutiny for their not subjecting themselves to randomized testing year round, and just, waiting for, 8 weeks out, or, trying to avert it entirely and create like backdoor contracts where, if they test positive, it won't be disclosed. Like shit like that is rumored and or confirmed to have occurred with a lot of guys in the boxing world, even high profile guys. So with Tommy Fury, I'm not saying he's doing all that. I'm just saying that it is one of the looser sports, especially at he's not an amateur, but like at the, low level, pro level, where if even the top guys are in this kind of realm where you have a significant amount of leeway in the off season, where you can, how much volume can you get in? How much extra training can you get in? How much recovery can you get in? How much myonuclei accrual can you get during this time where you're subjecting yourself to the full gamut of shit, and then all you do is cycle off and retain a significant amount of those benefits leading into the competition, despite the fact that you're subject to randomized testing for 8 weeks or something. It doesn't mean there's not a shit ton of carryover from these compounds into the competition. So with boxing, is there incentive to cheat? Yeah, there sure as fuck is. And this guy has definitely been associated with things in the past that I think, you know, highlight his likely interest in areas that probably have crossover with anabolics. You know, he's obviously, like I mentioned, the fitness industry thing, you know, he's on Love Island, I guess, could hypothetically, you know, doesn't necessarily reflect well given their, you know, reputation for how many guys are definitely on the Sawzall when they go into that show. And just the fact that he is performing at a high level at a professional level. Like, he is trying to fight for his life in a ring. Like, why would you not want to enhance your performance in all aspects? So again, I don't necessarily think this is exactly what he's doing. I just think there's a lot of incentive to do so. And I speculate if I was to make a bet, he has definitely dabbled in the past. So is he doing that right now currently? I don't know. There is definitely an off-season gaping hole of opportunity though to do so. And I don't necessarily think he's going to be using steroids. I don't necessarily think that a lot of those compounds are necessarily like fucking 10 times I said useful for a boxer. You know, you're going to weigh yourself down with more muscle that is burning up, you know, oxygen carrying capacity and whatnot. You want to not necessarily burden yourself with excessive tissue, especially when you might push yourself into the upper weight class that you are trying to avoid pushing yourself into, or hold water retention or shit that is not going to be useful for you and you can't otherwise mitigate as easily with ancillaries because they're all synthetic compounds that are going to get picked up on a WADA panel or something. Again, though, the erythropoietin, the hematology building erythropoietin precursor peptide analogs and whatnot, shit like that, growth hormone, an obvious fucking go-to. That kind of stuff, I believe, is definitely looked at very, very heavily by a lot of these boxers, and I would imagine a lot of them are definitely trying to get away with it, given they have the resources and the high quality coaching in their corner to do it. And that's, you know, not necessarily from a boxing coach aspect, more so from a pharmacology chemistry aspect. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is he natty or not? All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplatesmoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplatesmoredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas. I designed myself from scratch and recommended lab tests and diagnostics. Stay on top of your health through my HRT clinic and get high quality oversight from doctors who actually know how to read and interpret biomarkers and create an individualized protocol for you, if warranted, based on your individual needs, imbalances and deficiencies in your blood work, and or just patch up issues in your lifestyle, your diet, you know, stuff like that. Even if you're a natural, it doesn't mean you can't use these services of our clinic. We make our margins on services, not just on the medication. So that is where we set ourselves apart, and I highly recommend you check it out if you are interested in optimizing your health, quality of life, etc. So thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.